Today, we go over a full UFO timeline, all the way back to 1882 when there was maybe some first photo evidence, all the way up until today when the government is releasing the files to us on the internet.
How many of these are you aware of? Because I only knew of a few before I did this research.
It's the department with Joe, Noah, and Kenny. Let's get into it.
August 1883, the Bonilla observation. Mexican astronomer Jose Bonilla photographs hundreds of dark, fucking Henry. Mexican astronomer Jose Bonilla photographs hundreds of dark, unidentified objects crossing the sun. Recorded at the Zacatecas Observatory, these are considered some of the earliest anomalous aerial photographs in history.
I mean, a picture from 1883. It's just...
I mean, even having a picture that survived.
Did anybody else realize they had cameras in 1883? Because I was fucking shocked.
I don't remember. I feel like going to film school. I should.
You don't remember 1883?
No, I
don't remember it either.
When they?
Do you guys not?
Kenny's getting all the interference now.
When Lincoln was president in the 1860s, right?
That was the Civil War. Yeah.
There's pictures of Abraham Lincoln.
Ooh. I mean, really, it's just burning light. A photograph is just light burning into film, right? It's just because light, like it burns your skin, it can burn into film. So it's just magnified and put. We're gonna get a different thing over there every time.
For him to be able to capture that, though, it must have had to stay stagnant for a while, because back in the early days of pictures, it could take up to an hour to take a single frame.
It's a good point. I mean, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. It could be almost anything at that point, though. Like, because dirt on his lens, like how there's gonna not be enough information.
Well, I was gonna say in the 1883, do you think they kept their lenses as clean as we do today? Like, do you think the lenses were as good as they are today?
I mean, didn't they consider like water like beer back then? Beer was water.
It was also 200 years ago.
Yeah, but it was like the reason that people actually like you drank beer instead of water is because it was actually slightly purified because of the.
Fuck, dude, I want to live in 1883.
Right? It was just like really watered down Coors Light, though. It wasn't good stuff.
So this could be an imperfection in the lens that was made that we don't know about. He
just made a story around it. Yeah.
Right. So first UFO that was photographed. Unidentified flying object.
Then in 1896 to 1897, we had the mystery airships. A massive wave of mystery airship sightings sweeps across the U.S., beginning in Sacramento, California. Witnesses described cigar-shaped crafts with glaring searchlights years before the Wright brothers' first flight. In 1897, a Texas newspaper reports an airship crashed into a windmill in Aurora, allegedly leaving behind an alien pilot.
Huh.
I
feel like just back then it's just all folklore, right? Like it's all just.
I know, it's so far back. It's like
it is, but actual tangible proof.
But you think about it, when people Noah's age are reading the new files, they feel the same way about the stuff that we were alive during in the 80s.
No, because there's actual tangible proof, and there's people living to actually tell the tale as well.
I mean, that looks like a photo.
A photo
it is
of
a photo.
Blurry dot. We've gone over.
We watched a bunch of photos of blurry dots last goddamn episode.
That looks like when somebody puts a microscope on a petri dish and goes, "Hey, look, there's bacteria."
Yeah, and you don't know, like half of them are not dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we had the Cape Girardeau incident. Local lore and later leaked reports suggest a craft crashed into Cape Girardeau. I'm probably fucking saying that wrong. Missouri. The U.S. military is rumored to have swiftly recovered the wreckage and alleged alien bodies, predating Roswell by 6 years.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I think one of the most famous things in history is Roswell.
Yeah,
like
and that's
even
coming
if you
up.
don't have a tinfoil hat like my expert tinfoil hat on my head, Roswell, you've heard of.
Can I be an idiot for a second?
Oh, mother.
Never heard of Roswell.
You've never heard of Roswell, and you believe in aliens, and you've never heard of Roswell. Do you know what Area 51 is, and you've never heard of Roswell?
Correct.
Do you know where Roswell is?
No.
You know nothing about Roswell?
Nope.
Oh, my. All right.
Well, first off, it's in New Mexico, but we'll get there.
I watched the S4 documentary.
Yeah, but you needed to watch more than just that. You needed to watch, like, Ancient Aliens and some other shit.
He was hungover. He didn't pay attention to shit. Because Roswell was in the S4.
It's talked about during there, but not a lot. Like
not a lot. They touch on it. Yeah.
All right, so then we go into 1944, 1945. We have Foo Fighters reports. So Allied pilots formerly reported glowing aerial objects during World War II. The sightings became known as Foo Fighters and entered military reporting channels. Later declassified CIA-related materials cited those wartime cases as part of the UFO record trail. So Foo Fighters from World War II were considered to be UFOs because they weren't sure what they were and they were glowing. So they believed that they saw UFOs during that. So imagine if you were an alien and we're going to war. Are you just coming down to like spectators? Is it like a NASCAR sport for you and you're just sitting there watching us?
I mean, to be honest, if you're an alien, that's when I'd go visit.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, you want to see them? When you're watching nature documentaries, that's what we are to the aliens. We're a nature documentary. What do you want to see? Do you want to see when the bears are like walking through the woods? You're like, that's boring.
I want to see when they're getting in a kerfuffle.
You see two bears going at it. You're like, that's when I want to tune in right there.
So they're like, I want to go to vacation to Earth right now.
Right. And somebody.
It's like, actually, you're going to really enjoy the vacation to Earth in 1944.
And somebody paid for floor seats, and that's the sumbitch we're seeing right there.
Yeah.
Right? That's the floor seat aliens.
I could see Dave Grohl right there.
Right? Same guy.
You don't know who Dave Grohl is.
No, I don't.
He
But
does.
you don't know what Roswell is. So.
Dave Grohl was from the Foo Fighters. He was the drummer from Nirvana who became the lead singer and the band founding member of the
Music,
Foo Fighters,
that's-
the band. Yeah.
That's definitely why. I
But
barely know
he's
who,
named
like-
after Foo Fighters from the World War II. Like they named it after that.
Are we going to wear these hats the whole time?
They're hot. Like my head,
It's
I'm
getting
sweating.
itchy.
Oh, mine is deaf. I left some air.
We were like,
Yeah, I could see.
We need like vent holes.
That's your 8th revision. You know?
That's why they say nothing gets in, but also nothing gets out.
I was going to
Like,
say, you'll let RF in if you put holes.
these people are committed when they put these things on.
And they'll usually do it like outside in 100-degree heat. Like, fuck.
That maybe then it would reflect the light, but it's cold down here and my
All right.
head's getting hot.
June 24th, 1947, the flying saucer is born. Private pilot Kenneth Arnold reports 9 highly reflective crescent-shaped objects flying at supersonic speeds near Mount Rainier. He describes their movement like a saucer if you skip it across the water, leading the media to coin the term flying saucers. This event ignites the modern UFO craze and kicks off the decades of FBI flying disc investigations. Now, since you gentlemen watched the documentary, the key part of this that always gets me is he said there are 9 objects that are crescent shaped back in 1947.
Mm-hmm.
And in the documentary, he says they recovered 9 crafts in the hangars.
I don't remember. I remember there were a lot of crafts. I didn't remember there were 9.
He said 9, yeah. I just watched it last night again. So,
So do you think it's the same 9 that they found in 1947?
Yeah,
I don't know, but
also in the documentary they did say that all the 9 were not recovered at the same time.
yeah, they could have been recovered different times. But it's interesting to know like that's,
And some of them weren't crescent shaped either.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, some of them are not crescent
So we
shaped.
don't know how long they've had them because some of them they were. I don't want to ruin the documentary, but
We'll get there.
go watch it before you watch the show. Oh, we're not holding anything back. But like some of them, they said were archaeologically found, like dug up out of the dirt.
Which would probably be the 1800 and the 1897 mystery one.
Could be. But I would think before that, like dinosaurs were looking at them like, the hell is that?
Probably. That's probably what killed the dinosaurs. They're
It was
like, that
that,
guy
or
tried to bite me.
do
I'm
you
going to go
think-
fucking kill his whole family.
Do you think the dinosaurs are talking about it on their podcast?
Maybe they were. They were like, that fucking UPS guy's supposed to deliver my shit today. That fucking flying saucer just came flying by and took my shit away.
I was thinking they bitch about their little arms, you know?
He's like, I ordered a grabber from Amazon.
I can't reach my dick. All right. So they're also mad all the time. You taking it off already? I'm going the whole show. I don't care.
I mean, I'll go till it falls off
for the
again.
clips, I need to have this on. Like, people are going to think I'm not an expert. Remember?
But mine's pointier.
Jordan Belfort. That's what you have to be perceived as an expert in your field. We are
But mine's
the experts.
But mine's pointier.
All right, he's better at building the hat. He's level 2 expert. You look like a level 2 expert.
All right, here we go. We're going to move on to the incident that Noah's never fucking heard of, which makes no sense to anybody in the world of UFOs. July 1947, the Roswell incident. Rancher Mac Brazel discovers strange lightweight metallic debris scattered across his ranch outside Roswell, New Mexico. On July 8th, the military issues a press release stating they recovered a flying disc. Within hours, the military retracts the statement, claiming it was simply a crashed weather balloon, sparking decades of cover-up theories. The fact that they reported that they had a flying disc and then retracted it minutes later is the fucking quintessential piece.
Yeah.
It's like, why even put out the press release to begin with that you recovered the flying disc if you're not, like if they're not married to it, you know?
Yeah. I wonder how people married this because like Area 51 is New Mexico, right? I know it's out there somewhere.
Is it not?
Is Area 51 New Mexico? It's in that area.
It's close. Yeah, it's in.
I just forget
It's in the area of New Mexico and
looking
Vegas
at it.
and
I
all
forget
that.
what
Yeah.
state I was in, but it's all in that same
Nevada.
desert area.
It's in Nevada.
Yeah, it's in Nevada, but
That's right. It is in Nevada, which is really close.
They're all clustered
all
together.
desert states.
Yeah, they're all the same. Like, are people in Nevada like, Pennsylvania, Ohio, they're all the same thing? Because like, really, they are.
They probably do feel
Everything
that way
in the
about us.
Northeast,
They're like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Amish country.
Yeah, we're all Amish to them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're all aliens to us.
yeah.
Amish don't have tinfoil.
Come on, why? Like,
Fuck the Amish.
all the ideas are not being.
They can't watch this. They're cranking. They're cranking.
No, they can watch it while they work. That's what they're doing.
They can watch it on their phones while they're working. Yeah.
They're out plowing their fields, listening to your beautiful voice.
All right,
That's how
so
they keep all their
Thank you for
crops
watching,
straight.
you stupid incest fucks.
Jesus.
after the Roswell incident, we have Project Sign begins. The U.S. Air Force created Project Sign as its first formal UFO investigation program. Sign gathered and analyzed early post-war reports following the 1947 flying saucer wave. It established the official investigative framework later inherited by Project Grudge and Blue Book.
So the government is like, we found saucers. No, we didn't. Just kidding. And then they're like, wait, we're going to make a project to like go find those saucers
you know
that
what
we
happened.
hid.
You and I work. Work at factories and stuff. Like we've worked with other people.
Yeah.
You know what happened.
I know exactly what happened.
We have all this documentation that says flying saucers exist, and then all of a sudden, we're like, well, the news keeps calling. What do I tell them? Oh, just tell them we got a fucking flying saucer. Ah, son of a bitch, he did it. The fucking new guy told him. No. Call him back and tell him it's a weather balloon. It was a weather balloon.
How do you get that messed up from a fucking piece of metal to a fucking weather balloon?
And how many weather balloons are there out there? I hear weather balloon more than I hear anything
Right,
else.
like everybody has one in their basement. They're just releasing this week.
How many
Weather
scientists are really tracking the weather nowadays? Like, come on.
How many
Yeah, I mean, we
balloons
don't
do
have more
need?
sophisticated technology for weather than balloons.
No, we just throw a balloon out there and it tells us everything about the weather.
So they made up Project Sign, and it's also called Project something later, isn't it?
It
But
becomes Project Grudge and then Project Blue Book.
that's what you said, yeah.
Yeah.
So they made an investigation to investigate their own nonsense. So you got the chicken or the fox watching the hen house over
So
here.
they're basically wasting taxpayer money to make it look like
Yeah,
they're
they're like,
looking at something else. Yeah.
Don't worry, you can take your hat off. We'll go find them for you.
Oh, thank you.
That's what happened.
Yeah, don't worry about it. The government's got this under control. We didn't care before we accidentally told you it was a flying saucer, but now we're going to do the due diligence to make sure that the flying saucers don't come to get you.
And that's where the hats came from.
Then we have the Childs Whitted encounter. Two commercial pilots reported nearly colliding with a glowing wingless torpedo-shaped craft over Montgomery, Alabama.
How much?
That just looks like a B-2 bomber.
What's the date?
1948. So this is July 24th, 1948.
From Roswell, or
Yes.
how far from Roswell incident?
540.
I don't know how far from Roswell
Go
this
up.
was.
Scroll up.
It was...
Go up.
One more.
Go one more.
Oh, it was 1947 date-wise. I thought you meant like the distance.
How many years?
Sorry.
No.
1
Sorry, I meant
year.
year.
I thought you meant
Yeah,
the
yeah.
distance. I was like,
All right,
I don't
so-
know how fucking far away it is.
All right, so we got nine flying discs, and then mysteriously we've got 9 flying discs in Roswell. Probably no, we don't know.
Maybe.
Then we almost hit one a year later.
Yeah.
I want to point something out
A
here.
lot of traffic.
Why do all of the aliens want to come to America? I have not heard a single one about another one in any other part of the world.
Well, my guess is that with those countries haven't shared their files with us, so we have to go on what we have only.
Lame.
Well,
Actually,
But
I really don't really care about American history. Anyway.
In some of the
It's the one that
newer
matters.
Pursue files, some of that stuff is all over the Middle East. So some of those videos we watched were in the Middle East. But the object had intense exhaust flames and blew the commercial plane off course as it zipped past.
ooh, exhaust. That's interesting.
It's
different.
different than the one that we
But
saw in S4.
This is one where they're saying that it was basically a torpedo-shaped craft. So I wonder, is this like unmanned drones and stuff that were starting to be piloted back then that are not potentially alien craft, but were just happening at the same time because there's so much classified information.
Right.
Then we have 1948, the Gorman dogfight. So in October, we have World War II veteran pilot George Gorman engages in a 27-minute dogfight with a glowing orb over Fargo, North Dakota. The highly maneuverable orb actively evades Gorman's P-15 Mustang before shooting straight up and disappearing. Project Blue Book later categorizes the object as a lit weather balloon, though Gorman firmly rejects the explanation.
It's always a weather balloon.
It's always
Those
a
weather balloons that shoot straight up.
Yeah, weather balloons have engines that could just go. Phew.
Yeah, because like in the S4 thing, like without, if you should watch S4, then watch this.
Yeah, if you,
like,
this is your warning right here. We are going to spoil S4 for you if you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
now.
if you want to watch it on Kenny's Plex. He'll invite you.
Yeah, hook us up. We'll.
I mean, it's like a sponsor of the show over here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it made it seem like, but then I was thinking like, well, like Bob Lazar, man, that guy just doesn't seem nuts.
No, and that's
Did we get into Bob later or no?
I did not cover Bob in this, but Bob comes up in 1988. So I was going to say we would talk about it when we get to 1988.
He didn't seem crazy.
Because that's when Bob comes out with his story 1988. So I figure we would touch on it when we get to that point.
That makes sense. Because like some of this stuff, you're like, it had to be something else or a glare on his windshield or something like that. But then you're like a fight that long. But then like I think too in my head, like in wartime, we gave out some good drugs. You know what I'm saying? We experimented with some drugs.
I mean, yeah, we were giving
like,
people barbiturates and stuff ahead of time we were giving them beta blockers and stuff to keep their heart rate down, which is part of the reason why nobody cares about mental illness these days, because they didn't know it was a thing. They just figured it was something the government gave them back then.
It's like there were spiders crawling on the windshield, you know? Like
sure there was, Grandpa.
Right?
You know, like...
The other thing that
we did some weird shit back in the day.
The only thing I could poke a hole in the S4 documentary is that, sure they had the one murder attempt. They tried to kill him once, but wouldn't you think that the government would have tried to just completely eliminate him?
Well, I can talk about that.
They eliminated the guy that discovered the car that runs on water. You know.
But we can talk about that later because I actually have something I want to tie into that when we get there. So let's hold that till we get to the 80s.
Okay. We're not in the 80s yet. We're still in the 50s.
We're still in 48. Like,
change our hats.
Look how long the progress bar is. We're going to be in the 40s for fucking 2 years.
Yeah. So 1948 November, top secret U.S. Air Force Director of Intelligence is filed detailing repeated sightings over European airspace.
And you're welcome for the terrible AI images. If we didn't have anything else, if we had I went through here and I tried to make sure that all these images were at least relative. I did 5-10 minutes worth of research on each photo. And then if there wasn't one, I did.
5-10 minutes on each one.
He did, which is a lot for Joe, by the way.
That was there for the text.
It takes him 5 minutes to read this much text.
Yeah, 5 minutes was just reading it. And then the other five was
Googling
it and reading Wikipedia
a
and stuff and making sure we had the best image. And then if it's some stupid shit like that, it was like, there isn't. So
Trump will tell you that's a real picture.
But in 1948, this is finally where the report concludes that the sheer volume of credibility meant that they could no longer be dismissed.
Yeah, like a bunch of people seeing it, like the S4. Man, it's hard not to talk about that.
We'll get there.
It's almost like the only experience we have.
Well, I know, right? The real tinfoil hatters are like, these fucking guys.
They watched one documentary and now they're fucking making their third podcast episode on it.
Right. No, we're a podcast exploring it with all the rest of you. You're coming along
with us. We're learning with you.
Like, we're learning together. We did a little bit of research. This is what it's going to look like when people just start with this stuff. So if you're a super expert, well, give us a call. You can come on the show. We'll bring you on.
I have a complaint about that eventually we can talk on if we want. So we can touch on it real quick here. Gatekeeping. I fucking hate gatekeeping. I want to complain about it because things like this, that's what I hate. We're going to put this online. Everybody's going to bitch and be like, you didn't even fucking look into these 12 things. Oh, I'm sorry there's not a fucking sticky wiki out there that says, if you're just looking into UFOs today, here's the 12 fucking things to watch first. Because they don't fucking exist already.
Everybody gatekeeps nowadays.
And it's annoying because it's gatekeeping is in everything. It's like,
You're
you
right.
bought a goldfish? Well, your tank's too fucking small.
It happens all the time at work
does.
to make people feel like they're more important.
I know.
Because they're like, I'm going to gatekeep, and then if I don't tell you how to do this information, then I'm the only one that knows how to do it. Fuck.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So-
And people need to knock it the fuck off.
Yeah, because it's annoying because we're trying to help people understand even a little bit. And we could be fucking wrong, and that's okay. You're allowed to be fucking wrong. You can't figure out you're wrong if we don't talk about it.
Yeah. And I've been wrong before.
No.
Plenty of times.
Just once.
Your wife has told me. So then we move on to 1949. Project Grudge basically replaces Project Sign. And then we have...
Hey, is that where the movie Signs?
No, Signs comes from
The crop circles.
crop circles being
Like,
signs.
come on, you fucking idiot.
Should take the hat
I
off.
like that sound.
Sandia Sightings Dossier, a newly released public in release number 2, contains more than 100 pages documenting 209 sightings near Sandia Military Base in New Mexico. These sightings span from 1948 to 1950 and include green orbs, disc, and fireballs. The historical dossier was released on May 22nd, 2026 as part of the Dow's second disclosure.
Did
When
we
did
see
World-
any of this in our last episode?
When did World War II end?
1945.
1940. It was the Foo Fighters one. So 1945, yeah.
Nobody
This is
believes me.
all
It was my
so
ancestors.
Suspiciously flying, unidentified flying things, 2-3 years after the war. It's like, we had nothing better to do then.
Apparently not.
Make babies and look
Well,
at
that's all the
UFOs.
aliens going home. They're like, we watched the war. We stuck around for a while to watch them clean up. Now it's time to go home.
Well, you also have
they
to think
stopped.
documentation probably has just gotten a lot better towards the more modern we get.
That's
too.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the Lubbock Lights in 1951. So multiple V-shaped formations of glowing lights fly over Lubbock, Texas, witnessed by 3 Texas Tech professors and hundreds of civilians. A college student takes highly publicized photos of the lights. Project Blue Book eventually dismisses them as plugs
welcome.
reflecting city lights, an explanation widely mocked by the professors who saw them.
What?
You're welcome for the good picture.
Yeah, he got a good picture.
You should have saw this nonsense before. It was like a coloring book picture of a squirrel or something. AI didn't do very good.
It looks like he went on a piece of black paper and just went.
I did, but I wasn't going to tell anybody else that. Looks like a V shape, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's probably completely wrong.
So do you really think that they saw birds with light reflecting? Like how you really think that nobody saw a bird with light reflecting on it before, and that's going to be the most interesting thing? How about the fact that if there's a light shining on these birds, why is there still complete darkness behind these fucking birds?
That looks like geese to me.
Then we move on to 1953, where we have the Robertson panel and the Durant report. CIA-sponsored panel reviewed major UFO cases, included they did not show a direct national security threat. So not that they didn't exist,
Of course not.
but they weren't here to harm us. So
How did he know? Did they go up and talk to them?
the panel encouraged debunking and public education efforts to reduce attention to UFO reports.
Don't look up.
Yeah, they were like, it's a fucking weather balloon. It's a weather balloon. It's some birds. It's a bird with a light. It's a weather balloon with a light. Goddamn bird pointing a light on the weather balloon.
It'd almost be better to be like, like, hey, do you know what that is? And you're like if I have a thing and I'm like, and you're like, what was that UFO? And you're like, and I have it. I'm like, weather balloon. But if I don't, I'm just like, I don't know what that was. You saw it. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But
What
if
was
you
that
have
thing
it, I
up
feel
there?
like then you're giving me an excuse so I go away.
Yeah.
What was that thing up there? Just don't look up in the sky. You're
Yeah.
fine. Don't worry about it.
Or you'd be like, it's a solar quasi flare that comes from the northern lights that happens on the 12th Tuesday of the 15th of Wednesday because the gas builds up.
Look, he's gatekeeping.
No, that's gaslighting. Different one. Different thing. Then we move on to 1952, the Washington, D.C. incident. A fleet of unidentified objects flies over the White House and the Capitol building on consecutive weekends. The objects are tracked by multiple radar systems and seen by commercial pilots. The Air Force scrambles fighter jets, but they outrun military aircraft.
Yeah, so anything around the White House, I just would chalk up to another country in the world, just trying to scare us,
Maybe, but if it did outrun military aircraft, that's interesting.
Because you would think, even if it was other countries' military, their
We wouldn't be able to
technology
outrun
should
it.
be on the same level as ours.
Yeah.
Why are they going after the White House, though? They don't know.
It is like, but that's when you'd notice is when they're there. They were flying around Missouri and they're like,
Yeah, nobody cared when they were in the desert. They're like,
Dude, nobody
Did you see all
cares."
that sand?
like, these are their YouTube, like, those guys that prank people in like grocery stores? These are the aliens that are grocery store pranksters. They're like, dude,
Practical joker.
Dude, you want to go prank Earth again? This
So
fucking
Earth is
guys
like-
are great.
Earth is like parkour videos for aliens. They're like, we're gonna go do some parkour.
Those guys
Earth.
always give us good reactions.
Like, we're gonna go down to Earth. We're gonna do some parkour in the middle of the desert, and then we're gonna do it in like a city, and then back to the desert again.
But they're still talking about us 80 years later.
Right? Some tinfoil hat guys are making a podcast again.
Right now,
Legendary.
literally.
Legendary.
Then we move on to 1955. We have the Kelly Hopkinsonville
It looks
encounter.
like the fucking stuffed animal that woman made and then had kids with.
It's a real picture.
Looks like
Two
Yoda.
families in rural Kentucky's farmhouse claim they were besieged overnight by a glowing 3-foot-tall goblin-like creatures. The families shot at the enemies with shotguns, reporting that the bullets sounded like they were hitting a metal bucket. Blue Book investigates but dismisses the event as misidentification of great horned owls illuminated by moonlight. Again, how many times has a reflection been the answer?
Or a weather balloon.
Well, because they reflect things, right?
And I like it's in Kentucky. They're like, we shot at it, sounded like a metal bucket. I'm like, you probably had a fuckload of metal buckets around down there in Kentucky. So got the pang sound in fucking Kentucky doesn't sound like that far off. But
They got intercepted by Yoda.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably where they got the idea for Yoda. They're like, well, back in Kentucky, they had this guy. He came down.
the
Is that what George
similarities,
Lucas sounds
He
like?
said it was the midichlorians. And so,
the similarities though with the height being short, because
Yeah,
some
3 foot
people,
tall.
yeah, some people say they're really tall and some people say they're really short.
You think
With
there's
them being
one
really
type of
short-
alien out there?
Yeah. So
Just one?
there is
There's
a
only
rather
one, like-
consensus that
yeah, like birds, they're all like this big. It's fine.
So it's one alien and they all have almond-shaped eyes and they're green.
Pretty much.
well, that's what they call the gray alien. That's not. There are actually different classifications of aliens out there that people.
No, Joe's saying there's only one.
Nobody asked Joe. Joe's not an expert. That's why we're here.
Yeah, look at this
You
fucking
couldn't
hat.
tell. Look at this hat. This is expert hat.
Look, Joe, it was a great horned owl. You're wrong.
Who? All right. Okay. We're getting
All right.
kicked off this shit.
Bad joke.
1961, we're going to move into the Betty and Barney Hill abduction. Betty and Barney Hill reported being abducted by extraterrestrials while driving in New Hampshire. Under hypnosis, they provided detailed accounts of medical examinations and draw a star map of the alien's origin. This marks the first widely publicized alien abduction case in American history.
They went like this. They went, tell us everything about the aliens.
They're like, I'm hypnotized. What'd you say, Bob? Oh, okay. Yeah, they were aliens.
Are you hypnotized? Uh-huh. What do they look like? They were small and they looked like goblins and they took
No. What'd they look like?
Star.
What did you want us to tell them they looked like? oh, almond-shaped eyes, really tall.
And like a documentary on all of this stuff would be interesting. I wonder if there is one.
If there is, somebody's going to put it in the
We're
comments to
making
tell us.
it right now.
They're going to put it in the comments and be like, these fucking idiots didn't watch it. And I'm going to be like, yeah. Then we're going to comment on that and go,
gatekeeped
you
it."
fucking gatekeeper didn't tell us that this UFO document existed.
Yeah. Use this as a platform for information. Let's spread the love.
1964.
This is an AI recreation image. It's
I
not
fucking
real.
hope so.
It's a very strong
I hope so.
But it was the most accurate representation of what they're describing.
Recreation's a very strong word.
The Socorro landing. 1964, police officer Lonnie Zamora witnesses a roaring egg-shaped craft land in the desert outside Sirocco, New Mexico. Oh, I said Socorro? No, it's Socorro. Whatever.
Yes,
He reports seeing two humanoid figures in white coveralls near the craft before it reaches into the sky with a blue flame. Blue Book lead investigator J. Allen Hynek calls it one of the most credible cases on record. It officially remains unidentified.
See, then you're like, that's fine.
That literally is exactly
Which is okay, because this is the one I believe the least, by the way. The one that looks like an egg is the one that I believe the least.
That's why there's not anything else. They're like, well, we just had to draw it with the computer.
AI, that looks more realistic than probably what they even saw.
Right? They're like, yeah, it was a little blurrier than that. I was real far away.
Did it draw this with the fucking
potato phone? I didn't. No. I found that on the internet. I'm just saying.
Okay, because I was like, did you really look up like egg-shaped craft and it put like the fucking the stamp on the egg?
But it's they had like
they knew what the logo was and everything on the fucking ship.
All the other pictures for this was like the dirt roughed up where like the footprint was on the ground, but like looking at dirt isn't dirt. The footprint in the dirt wasn't very exciting.
Looking at the dirt.
But we'll see that and then be like, okay, if you want to look up more about it. But this is just an overall timeline of how things progressed.
Look, anything that we talk about today, feel free to do your own investigation on, because there is no guarantee that all this is verified or even real. AI could be lying to us as well as I did some research on this, but it doesn't mean that what I was reading was legit either.
We're doing the best we can with what we got.
Then we move on to
our budget of
negative $400.
We're negative because of the foil hats.
Negative.
Hey, look.
Negative 1965, the Exeter incident. An 18-year-old and 2 police officers in Exeter, New Hampshire, witness a massive, silent, low-flying object. Blue Book initially blames an Air Force exercise, but the Air Force confirms the exercise ended hours before the sighting. There is no explanation for this event, leaving it unidentified.
Boring.
But yes,
That's why it was really hard. This one was actually pretty hard to look up. That's why there's no picture, because it's like some kids saw something, so you're like, meh, but they put it in the Blue Book, so you're like, the Blue Book files, so you're like, it happened.
Try to have something, yeah.
It's a thing, yeah.
1965 in December, the Kecksburg case becomes one of the best known recovery stories in U.S. UFO history. Years later, disputes over NASA files led to litigation and the release of additional records. This makes Kecksburg important, not just as an incident, but as a public documents case.
Right. And so that's an actual picture of like when you go to visit the site of like what they think they found, I think.
Mm-hmm. What
shape,
it's supposed to represent, yeah.
Yeah, like that shape comes up all the time. I think that's obviously a recreation.
Looks like a pile of shit.
Yeah, that shape's pretty easy to find when you look this up. So I'm assuming that's the size of the craft that they were talking about. And
but the U.S. hasn't confirmed it, or we just haven't seen real pictures of
it? They're confirming that documents exist on it, but nobody's confirming what it is.
Yeah. Still unidentified. But that's what makes it a UFO.
Now,
if you were looking for answers, not going to get it.
Yeah, I didn't bring answers.
The stories, because there are not. You can dig so deep, and then everybody's like, well.
Yeah, I didn't bring answers. I brought stories that you probably haven't heard of. And then the next one, this is one we hear about a lot. This is another one where...
Oh, the swamp gas incident. That was me.
So the swamp gas incident in 1966, over 100 witnesses, including police, see glowing UFOs hovering over farms and a college campus in Michigan. Under intense media pressure, Blue Book investigator J. Allen Hynek famously dismisses the sightings as swamp gas. By the way, we heard his name before. He tried to dismiss things as great horned owls. So this guy's great at just dismissing things. The explanation causes public massive outrage and prompts Congressman Gerald Ford to demand open hearings on UFOs.
They're trying to get it out.
Good job, Jerry.
1966 in April, the Westfall encounter. Over 200 students and teachers at high school in Melbourne, Australia, watch a silvery disc-shaped craft hover over a field. The craft lingered for 20 minutes before rapidly ascending and vanishing. It remains one of the largest mass daylight sightings on record.
So maybe these are like alien tour buses.
Right? It's like this week.
And this is like the White House?
We get on a bus to go to like Williamsburg, Virginia, and they're like, today we're going to Earth, and we're going to drop you off at Australia to see some of the dangerous animals, and then we're going to take you to Earth to see the dangerous animals.
Like imagine you're a hippo, right? And you're just in like the hippo lake, and then there's like a ship, like us, which would be in a Jeep, and just like pulls up, and they're like, something over there. Steve, or something. And then it took off faster than a hippo could. So you're like, I think it's faster than anything I know.
And over on this corner is Area 51, where they research us all day. They're trying to figure out what we are.
Right.
One of the hippos is like, they took me back.
1969.
We've almost made it to the 80s.
Blue Book
Nice.
closes. So this is
That
after
didn't take long.
the
It took
Condon
like
Committee.
15 years.
Well, what's interesting though is that in 1966, Gerald Ford starts to demand open hearings, and 3 years
all of a
after,
sudden-
the book closes. Because before it was like, we're going to release little by little, just curate information,
That's
just
what
so
they're
you have
doing right
enough
now.
to do. Yeah. But then they were like, oh, you want to do UFO open hearings? Go fuck yourself. We're closing the book. So the military concludes that out of the cases, none pose a threat to national security, although 701 remain unidentified.
So 701 of those cases, they still have no idea if they pose a threat because
They have no idea what they are. Yeah, they're 100% unidentified.
I mean, they kind of brought that up in that. We just keep going.
We'll
back
get
to it
there.
because it's
We're hitting the 70s.
like, but about the, it's like I understand
Shut up, Joe.
because as a country, you'd be like, well, I don't want to tell our adversaries about this stuff. Like, I don't mind telling you guys, but if I tell you guys, then they're gonna know too. I think that's gotta be where half of it comes from.
I think there's part of that, but I think the other thing is that you got to remember that a lot of this goes on during the Cold War, and we were very concerned about sleeper cells from Russia and things like that. So we were very concerned about having spies and espionage in the country. So part of it is that, but it's almost like it's hard to tell your own people because you're not sure how many of those people came here from those areas.
Yeah, for sure.
So then we have the Apollo anomalies, which is in 1969 to 72. This is the declassified transcripts that had Buzz Aldrin and the Apollo 11 crew that saw the external craft shadowing them. They also had Apollo 12 astronauts that captured photos showing unexplained lights. And then Apollo 17, astronauts reported the very bright particles drifting past their spacecraft. That was all in release one.
The alien billionaires really paid extra for this one, where they're like, hey, we have a date where the humans are going to try and fly off the planet. You want to go watch?
Right.
They paid extra for that one.
Now that Noah has drained his lizard, we are on to 1975, where the UFO files have been declassified.
Uh-oh.
OSI investigative UFO files were declassified and transferred for archival processing. The Robertson Panel report was also declassified in the mid-1970s. This marks one of the earliest major public release waves of UFO records. Now, we've talked about most of the stuff that was in these already, but this is when they were actually released out, which is how we were able to talk about them in the timeline.
So in 1975, could you just like request that a pack of papers was sent to your house, or like could you go to a library to see all of it? Like
Most likely you have to go to like halls of Congress or some shit, like a Library of Congress or something. That's it.
Okay.
1980 in December, we have the Cash Landrum.
That's a
incident.
lot of break there. 5 years. They're like, we released all the files, and everybody's like,
Well, yeah, it's like 5 years. Oh, yeah, nobody cares about UFOs anymore. And we go on to this one. So then we have Betty Cash, Vicky Landrum, and Colby Landrum encounter a massive diamond-shaped object emitting flames on the Texas highway. The craft was reportedly escorted by over 20 military helicopters, leading witnesses to sue the U.S. government for damages. All three witnesses suffered severe radiation-like injuries, including hair loss, blisters, and long-term health decline.
wow.
Mhm.
So even if this wasn't a UFO, the government had to take some sort of responsibility for it.
It's like when the 3 Mile Island meltdown happened, and the government was like, no, there's no radiation poisoning. We're all fine. And then if you look at the people over there, man, some people have like 4 fingers and like 6 eyes and stuff. Like there's
That's where Noah came
Don't-
from.
Don't eat the fish near 3 Mile Island.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
Then after
Don't
that,
worry,
we have
Microsoft's going
the
to start it back up. We'll be fine.
Rendlesham Forest incident, often called Britain's Roswell. U.S. military personnel stationed at RAF Bentwaters witnessed glowing lights over consecutive nights. Patrols venture into the woods and report a metallic, triangular craft resting on the forest floor. The military documents physical indentations on the ground and elevated radiation levels at the landing site.
So that picture is actually like a nowadays picture. Like they made like a replica or something. Like that picture, you can find that or like similar things. I think they put like a replica in the freaking
Somebody
woods
probably made a metal version of what they
to
believe
put it
they
in there.
saw.
So that's where that picture comes from. Is like nowadays picture. You can go and look at that fake thing for whatever they've described to have seen.
looks like a big acorn on the top.
It's interesting in the documentary how many similar ones there were. He said the 80s. We're in the 80s now. Can I talk about them now?
No, not yet.
Damn
You
it.
can talk-
No.
When we get to 88, you can talk about them.
So once I was born.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, once we were born, yes.
Just me. You were
The Hudson
born, yeah.
Valley UFO wave in 1983 to 1984. 5,000 residents across New York and Western Connecticut reported seeing a massive silent V-shaped craft covered in lights. They weren't told it was birds, apparently. The craft hovered over highways and power plants, moving at impossibly slow speeds. Officials claimed they were light civilian planes flying in tight formation, which contradicted witness descriptions of a solid, silent structure.
Was this the right picture for this?
This is the picture you gave me.
Okay, because there was a V-shaped one, and then there was a circular one, so maybe I got the pictures screwed up.
This is the
Sorry.
picture you gave me.
No,
Doesn't look like a
no.
V shape to me, big dog.
no. There are V-shaped ones later. I'm sorry about the photo on that one. If it was the V-shaped one. I must-
November
Nobody's
1986, Japan Airlines Flight 1628, a veteran pilot and his crew flying a cargo plane over Alaska are shadowed for 50 minutes by two smaller UFOs and one massive walnut-shaped craft. The giant craft was described as being twice the size of an aircraft carrier. The objects are confirmed by FAA and military radar.
That's crazy.
Now you can talk about Bob Lazar. We are in 1989 is the next step. So in 1989, Bob went public with his stuff at KLZA or KLSA with George Knapp, the interviewers. So go ahead.
I wasn't done talking about the walnut.
Okay.
Because they're very well known for their flight patterns, walnuts. Like if they're building this stuff, they don't give a rat's ass about
Walnuts?
Yeah. They don't give a rat's ass about air drag. Like the flying saucer ones, you're like, yeah, okay, like cuts through the air like a car. But that walnut, there's no way, man. But like look how detailed some of the drawings were. Like that's why I picked that one out, because like people drew like detailed pictures of the thing.
'Cause they probably have like some crazy propulsion, like the flying saucers.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how they build them. It's just like whatever.
Yeah. The interesting thing was about the Bob Lazar is like how he described some of the things.
There's
how they
water
were-
on the zoom there. You see that?
Beep, beep. They fixed it. So about how all the crafts that he was describing in each one of the bays were like so different, That
Yeah,
it's
they're
like,
like the bunt cake and the,
Yeah, like they had a
the-
bunt
the
cake
top
shape, the
hat.
top hat one.
right? You're like, and then it's not like, oh, this one's a little bent. This one's like you're in completely different shapes. So that's very interesting. And some of the ones we see here are completely different shapes.
Yeah.
Like the walnut compared to the saucer thing, where you're like, I wonder why there's so many different shapes.
One of the things I found most interesting was how, how we have to have like creature comforts for everything, right? Like your Tesla has a huge ass screen, and my seat is comfortable. Like the flying saucer that he described was just like these tiny little molded chairs, and then
Yeah.
one little stick to control the whole thing. Like there's no button. Like,
Which means it's not the Lamborghini version of there. Like they call it the sport model in there, but it's probably like the fucking Yugo version in their
Yeah.
solar system.
it's just insane to think like that's all they need. They had these crazy cool futuristic gravity generators or whatever.
Yeah, some
that-
kind of wave generator. Yeah.
to move at supersonic speeds. But yet they just have like these little tiny molded chairs that are molded right into the fucking flying saucer. Like
Yeah.
it's insane how basic it is for them to be able to do what they were doing with it.
Right.
But you got to think that maybe they don't need sustenance. Maybe they don't need to eat. Like
Yeah. So many things. Like the reason our stuff looks like our, like cars and planes and things is because of the limitations of Earth or like the environment we're provided, right? So
Yeah, he talks about it. I believe it's in one part of the S4 documentary. He talks about how this is almost like the metal that was used for the ships almost was designed in the same way that computer chips are designed. It basically had to grow together because that's how the molecules of the ship are. Like the silicon dioxide and things like that. Like it actually was forming itself. It wasn't welded together. It wasn't molded together. It formed that shape by growing, basically like an organic compound almost is what he
Right.
was talking about.
which to us would be really weird. But
Yeah.
if you'd go to another planet where metal grows, you're like, well, yeah.
Probably
You
nothing.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Project
they-
Hail Mary, fucking Xenon was a metal or whatever. It was a
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah, they'd come to Earth, and then like Earth, it's like the wood grows, and then we use wood to build things. So it's like, oh, it looks like that thing was grown. It was like, well, it's grown. Then we chopped it down and killed it.
Which he kind of
made it do our building.
Which they kind of proved too, because when he starts talking about element 115, and people were like, it doesn't exist, and then later on, Moscow actually discovers it, but they aren't able to keep it stable because it basically just goes instantly radioactive. But it's the same periodic element in both. It's just there's something that caused the other one to remain in a solid form. So there could be potential that xenon is a metal in other solar systems that are different from ours.
And that little tiny triangle of 115, he said that they were believed that it could be fuel for up to 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Just that little tiny piece of triangular metal.
But then compare that to uranium for us, like nuclear power plants. Like that fuel is used for years.
Yeah.
Until it's used up, and then put it in storage.
Yeah.
Just bury it underground. Real
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, real Neanderthal solutions, but we do what we can. So
the other thing that I thought was interesting was, I know that he prompted it with saying that everybody was provided a little bit of information that might be outlandish or weird, just to figure out like who was the one that leaked information. But that genetics thing that they talked about, where like aliens have been meddling in our genetics for thousands of years just to like toy around with our genetics to see how we would evolve.
I hope,
like, that's insane.
I know he's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
But why no one else? Was he on some good drugs?
So that's something I wanted to talk about, right?
Fucking nuts.
So
why didn't they kill him the night that they figured out that he did that?
So here's one thing I wanted to talk about, and this is actually one thing I was just talking to Jen about the other day when I was watching it. I said, either he's the smartest man in the world or the dumbest man in the world, because the first thing he did was go report to people and start telling everybody. And you would think, like us would think, that's putting a target on your back. But I think the problem is he created such a media storm, they couldn't just go after him as quickly as they wanted to, because right now, I don't know if you guys have followed this story at all, there are 13 scientists missing that the government's just now starting to look into in the past couple of years. They're all like propulsion specialists and stuff. So how many of those 13 that are missing now were Bob Lazar's that were going to get ready to whistleblow, and they took him out before
it's just much different, I guess,
it happened, because he got out before it was. And he created enough of a stir that basically, like, they had already looked into his background before he went live. So they already knew he worked at Los Alamos, even though he said he didn't, because they had the phone book that had his listing in it. Mm-hmm. So you can try to say he didn't work there all you wanted, but you have a fucking phone book with his name in it.
Yeah. Yeah, because they originally did. They tried to say he didn't work there.
Yeah, and that's where even today, I think we're still doing this. I think we are still killing people.
And he only worked there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
I thought it was even shorter than that.
Yeah, it was a short period of time. It wasn't like 10 years.
Yeah.
Right?
He was freaked out, I think, was the problem.
Well, that's all. Oh, jeez. That's all he learned in that short amount of time. Imagine the people that have been there for longer than him. Yeah, that don't. But that's where the thing is. Like, some of these people that we'll cover it on another episode. It's not pertinent to this one, but there is an episode I want to do on the 13 missing scientists from the United States that were basically, this all happened in the past couple of years, and the government just now signaled they're going to look into it because it's gotten enough attention. Yeah.
But one of them was basically like the guy that reported to the presidents and said, these are like, this is what we have to worry about with aliens. Like, he was the guy that knew the things behind everything.
Yeah.
Even they said, went running one day with his 357 Magnum and never returned. So, like, there's a bunch of shit. But I wonder how many of that is these guys were getting ready to say something. But we found out, because back then you wiretapped phones, things like that. But think about it today. You have Facebook. You have advertising keys. You have fucking cookies. Everything that's already tracking you today that can start to put your stuff together. At what point do we know what they want to do before they know what they want to do?
Yeah. They said that, right, in the S4 documentary, that the scientists have to have a stable home life. If they don't, they're the ones that they already figured that shit out back then.
They said that they were going to put his clearance in question just because his wife was having an affair.
Yeah, exactly. Just because his wife was having an affair, yeah.
It didn't have anything to do with it.
See, I watched it.
I am so proud of you, Noah.
We're glad you watched it.
And it's fresh,
hungover
too.
This morning.
I wasn't hungover. But if I watched it 2 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't remember half this shit. So, all
right.
I don't know, man. It was a good documentary.
There was a lot that was in there that was great, but I think the biggest thing is that he predicted an element that didn't exist, that they eventually proved existed. And then there's all these other things that keep being proved. And now as these files are being released, one of the biggest things that I wanted you guys to watch the documentary for was because if you saw the part where John Lear records while they're out there the night that they get busted, when he takes them out to the test site and they're watching the lights above, the movement that it's making is very similar to most of the videos we're looking at when they're talking about the Omicron formation, about how it can zip side to side. That's where, to me, like, how many of these crafts that we've talked about from 1800s till now are the ones that he saw in that hangar?
Yeah.
You got to be a ballsy motherfucker to be able to learn how to fly one of those too. Like that they were doing test flights with these once a week where they would get in and know that how to fly it and shit. Like that's
Are they
wild.
ballsy, or are they just drugged up on so many like beta blockers and shit that they just do what they're told and they don't even think about it?
Could you imagine getting into an alien spacecraft, something that man didn't make, and fly it? Be up in the air and it goes invisible, and one of the panels would turn transparent so you could see out of it. Like,
so you can see out the front.
So fucking crazy. I believe everything that he said.
Now I will give you. Let me put a disclaimer out here. There is speculation that Bob's lying. Obviously, at one point Bob was arrested for prostitution in Las Vegas, which I don't
he was
see how.
prostituting himself?
No, he was running a prostitution place, pandering. I don't know how any of that ties into it, but these are things that they try to use to discredit Bob. So I'm just putting them out there that people say that he never worked at these places, which obviously you found they've obviously lied about in the past. The other thing is that he describes being shot at. In that case, I can't say that was related to the military at all, because he did live in Los Angeles. And if you looked at the car he was driving, it was a very expensive car at the time. He also had a jet car in his garage. Like, he had expensive things that normal gangbangers probably would have saw him as an opportunity. So I think that, and he even says it, that maybe this isn't related, but it was just coincidental. And I think that's why he says it, because he realizes, like, I'm in a high crime area still. It's possible. Now, the other thing, though, that I found really interesting is the fact that he said that he had some of the Element 115 because he was sent to take it to have them machine it. And he had to bring back what they machined plus the scraps. And I found it interesting that he said he still had some of it and had it in front of a reactor, basically, to just kill everybody if they tried to come get him. And then eventually he just hid it away. But did you guys watch that video where they're showing the light, the vapor, moving out of the way of the material in that video of the puck?
That was in the doc?
Yes. At the end of the documentary, he's talking about how he used to have a bit of
the cross pattern on it.
Yeah. If you're watching it, the one video he's talking about is vapor coming across it, and it's avoiding the spot where the Element 115 is.
I watched all the way to the end of the credits. I don't remember that.
It's in there. I promise.
But I think his
I mean, it could
issue,
be some drugged up dude in Vegas just making up a bunch of stories.
I mean, he could be on LSD.
And then but he had all his buddies drugged up too.
But how drugged
they're
up
all
do you
backing
have?
him up?
But okay, let's say they're an LSD collective. Okay, so they're all doing LSD and they all believe everything Bob says because he's a Jim Jones of this world. You know what I mean? But at what point do you have to give the fact that he predicted things that happened? Like, he predicted elements that didn't exist that then got discovered by other countries.
Yeah.
And that the other thing is the way that the documentary describes, like, the particle accelerator and how it's working and how the things are, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. If you were going to lie about this, why not make it so outlandish and make it so
I mean, it's outlandish
outrageous
to me that, like, the three parts of the reactor have no physical connections to each other at all.
I mean,
like, all they do is
you
turns
say
into a
that
30-degree angle, and it turns on the other thing, and then the actual thing starts making its gravity.
You say
There's
that,
no
but think about
physical
it.
Connection. That's insane.
What if we stole Bluetooth technology from that? What if that's where Bluetooth came from? And we just bastardized it to pair because we don't know exactly how they made it work.
I mean,
Probably
Bluetooth
stole
sucks.
But if we got it right, we could actually fucking physically tilt something 10 degrees and it would turn something else on if we got their implementation
like
of
somehow
Bluetooth
they're
correct.
wirelessly connected with no battery, no power, nothing. Like it's all just
Well, they're powered
there.
by that element that's supposed to
Yeah.
last for 20 to 30 years, which is obviously some sort of radioactive.
I think the worst thing about Bob Lazar, the worst thing he has going for him is that he looks like Chris Hansen.
I don't think he looks like Chris Hansen. But
Modern day Bob looks
I-
just like Chris Hansen.
one thing I didn't do, I wonder if he's been on podcasts.
he has. He's been on the
And I
Joe
didn't
Rogan
listen to
podcast
him.
multiple times.
I thought
Of
I saw a
course.
clip of him in there of that.
That's the kind of podcast.
But I wonder, like,
listen.
listen, because we listened to him in the documentary, but then that's little bits that could have been chopped up to whatever. Listen to him for a long time, like a podcast. You realize if, like us, they realize that we're completely nuts.
His 3-hour podcast that he did with Joe Rogan was very good. And that was how I got into him. I watched the one on Joe Rogan with him on it. And then after that, I watched his first documentary, which is on Netflix. And then I went into S4 and watched that one. So like, I believed him. I believed what he had to say. And I think what really got me the most was the government went after this guy. Like they arrested him multiple times for lots of shit and tried to say that he had element 115. So how do you say somebody doesn't work there and then say you raided their house because he took materials from a site that he never fucking worked at?
Yeah.
Government thinks we're stupid. You know that.
Yeah.
No. I'm smart enough to pay taxes.
But yeah, and the other thing that was interesting about the documentary is he does talk about how, like you said, that some of the stuff that's in there is could be potentially misleading to let people know where it came from. But how much of that is not misleading?
Right.
And
where does it end?
It sounds so outlandish that you're like, just tell them it's fucking crazy.
I mean,
like,
the genetics thing is so outlandish that it could be true. I mean, think about it. Before
but
we became smart enough to.
Did you guys
understand
catch the
things,
part that we worked with the aliens up to a point?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He talks about it. We worked with them to a point. So we were working with them, getting their technology, learning things from them, and we did something to piss them off. What was that thing?
It was in the 70s, right? Is when that cut off? Or
Yeah.
whatever?
So what was that thing? Was that
It was something to do with the
War?
U.S. government being
Was
stupid.
it-
So
yeah? Like what did we do?
yeah, we're actually fighting a galactic war right now, and nobody.
Yeah.
Like were we working with them when Roswell happened, and they were like, just tell them it's a flying saucer, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, fuck those guys. Don't tell them it's a flying saucer. They're leaving our Earth right now. I have questions. Lots of questions.
Yeah.
Bob, contact us.
Yeah. I'm
All
sure
right.
he'll reach out and we'll build you a hat, bud.
I will fly out to Oregon to interview you.
Well, we'd have to bring the mics and that in the camera.
To Oregon?
That's a lot.
No, we can just
We just
rent
order
a
it all on
studio.
Amazon.
Road trip.
Order it all on Amazon, then return it.
We'll just-
Road trip.
We'll
Let's
just rent
go.
one of those podcast studios already out there somewhere for a day.
We have to bring all this stuff I bought.
They would have way better equipment for less money.
All right, so we're going to move on now from Bob to 1989 to 1990. We had the Belgium UFO wave. Thousands of citizens and police officers in Belgium report massive silent black triangle crafts hovering low over cities.
That's the triangle one.
The Belgian Air Force scrambles F-16s to intercept. Fighter radar locks onto the object that executes physics-defying maneuvers and pulls massive G-forces to escape.
See, none of this is as cool as Bob Lazar.
Yeah, but when you have Bob Lazar backing up,
Now that
some
we've
of
already
this
talked about
stuff,
Bob, now that we're going to go into some of these things, it's going to make
like,
sense.
Hey,
Like, how much of this is that?
physics-defying circular, but the fire part is what is the difference. He didn't describe anything that had propulsion that way.
He said there was no heat
Not the
or anything.
No, but he did say
They
that it
would
got
light
a
up.
DC charge on the bottom in certain elements.
good, and it did glow,
And it would
That's-
glow
I
from the
forgot about
DC charge, but they had a way to make it go away because remember, they talk about it just disappearing.
that. Yeah,
So,
Yeah, Dennis was like, look up. And he looked up and it was gone.
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
way that they can use the DC power to divert itself or to change itself to see the sky above it, things like that. Because that's what they were talking about. Like, it's there and they saw it real bright, and all of a sudden it just went whoop and gone, but then they saw it over there again far off. So, like, there's a way that they can expend that extra DC current to make the discharge disappear.
Yeah. So it's harder to be like, it's a missile, which I always do.
Right?
He made it way harder for me to say that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, once you watch that and you realize, like, there's so much stuff that was proven, it's very hard to be like, maybe it was just a missile, because you're like, they fucking lied about this guy for years.
Look at that fucking thing.
So then we have the Calvine photo. This could have been a sport model. So two hikers in Perthshire, Scotland, photo of a massive diamond-shaped metallic craft hovering in daylight, flanked by a military jet, which is back there. The hikers handed the negatives to the newspaper, which passed them on to the Ministry of Defense. The photos were hidden from the public. One of the clearest original prints was finally uncovered 32 years later in 2022. So in 1990, this photo was hidden away by the government in Scotland.
What year were you born?
2002.
Jesus. Well, we were alive.
Yeah.
We're getting into me and Kenny were alive era.
Yeah. We would have been 3 years old, Joe.
And they stole our photo.
The last thing about Bob Lazar, they didn't steal your photo.
I'm alive. It's mine.
The last thing about Bob Lazar that I wanted to mention was that he has not faltered from his story from 1988 till today.
Correct. It's never changed.
There's never been any different or anomalies or anything. Like, they were cutting back to him telling his story on the newscast in 88, and he's still saying the same stuff today. So
yeah,
that's really cool too. Like,
I've watched the Joe Rogan podcast. I've watched him on other podcasts. It's always the same. And it's not a rehearsed story either, because if it was a rehearsed story, he would use the exact same wording every time. But he never strays from the story, but he does change it enough that you can tell, like, he's just remembering it. It's not a memorization of a story. He's remembering what happened. So either this guy took some massive LSD and fucking for 6 months thought he was working for the government, but was just, talking to a tree in the middle of the woods or some shit, or he really did this. You know what I mean?
Either way, it does seem like he believes it.
He believes it for sure, and his friends believe it because he took him out there. So, I mean, like, At what point are you like, maybe he made up some of the other shit, but there's actual video from the night they got arrested.
Go check it out, and I'll make you a hat, Doug, a real size hat.
Yes, Doug. If you have not watched it, I highly recommend it. If you have no way to watch it, you reach out to us. We will make it happen.
Send you a USB drive.
September 1994, we have the aerial school encounter. We have 62 school children in Zimbabwe witness a silver craft land in a field near the playground during morning recess. They reported seeing humanoid figures in black suits exit the craft, communicating telepathically with warnings about environmental destruction. Harvard psychiatrist John Mack investigated and concluded the children were recounting a genuinely traumatic shared experience. So basically,
it's a magic school bus.
1994, 62 children were basically told by aliens telepathically that we are killing the environment.
And then there was Al Gore.
Well, they left.
That stupid little lift.
They left Al Gore here. Does Al Gore ride on a lift?
Wasn't he the... Am I using the wrong guy?
Al Gore is the climate guy.
Yeah.
But he was the runner-up in the 2000 election.
But he was the vice president for Bill Clinton.
Yeah, but he did change...
he got disabled?
What was the documentary called, Kenny? Help me.
He did the climate change documentary.
Which is called?
EPA?
I don't know.
Inconvenient Truth.
Yeah, Inconvenient
You're
Truth.
fired, and you're fired.
I've never heard of it.
I've never watched it.
Okay. Well, anyways, they left Al Gore here so he could make the documentary.
They left Al Gore here in 1994 so he could be president and try to help us.
Yeah.
And then he lost.
1997, the Phoenix Lights.
You have to have heard of the Phoenix Lights.
2001 happened.
Thousands of witnesses watch a massive silent V-shaped formation of lights glide slowly across Phoenix, Arizona. Witnesses include Arizona Governor Fife Symington, who later admitted the craft was otherworldly. The military claimed the lights were flares dropped by A-10 warthogs, an explanation firmly rejected by witnesses.
A-10 warthogs?
Oh, I see a weather balloon.
Well, if they were flares dropped, they should continue to fall until they burn out.
They drop halfway and then they're all going to be in tandem together.
Yeah. How are they gliding slowly if they're dropping? That's not how gravity works. Then 2000. This is right before Noah was conceived. This is right before.
Still a year before.
Right before the sperm got injected. About the Illinois Triangle. Multiple police officers across several towns in St. Clair County, Illinois, track a massive silent triangular object flying low over the state. The officers communicate via dispatch radio in real time as the object moves from town to town. The craft was described as being the size of a football field with bright white lights in the corners and a red light in the center.
So just like my photo.
But I wonder if this is the situation where, like, is this the DC charge glowing here, and they decided to put lights here because they're like, we've made them triangular now instead of circular, so you guys need to stop running into shit. So we're gonna put some lights on the corners. maybe they were always triangular, and they started running into shit, and that's what rounded them. So now they're like, you know what? We would like to keep these triangular, so we're gonna put some lights on the ends.
Backup
It's
cameras.
interesting when there's like so many same people seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when these come up. It's not just one like Steve, like, I saw a bright light out there. It's like a whole football team, right?
With
Or
the
whatever
same
it's
information.
This is
too.
police officers.
Yeah. That's what makes it interesting. Is when multiple people see it. Like with the Bob Lazar stuff. I'm done talking about him. Move on. We need to have
Who's
him on
Bob
the
Lazar?
podcast. I hate you. Take
May
that off.
2001, the Disclosure Project. Dr. Stephen Greer hosts a major press conference at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. More than 20 retired military, FAA, and intelligence officials publicly testify about their UFO encounters. They urge Congress to hold open hearings to the reality of the phenomenon.
Fuck, why? I can't put my hand up.
Fucking with you.
He wasn't born yet. He's thinking
this
my
is-
mom didn't even have sex with my dad yet here. So, like, just hold on. Now, Noah was alive during this one. November 2004.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one.
There you go.
The USS Nimitz Tic Tac. The U.S. Princeton
I
detects
saw this on the Dow.
anomalous vehicles dropping from 80,000 feet to sea level in seconds off the coast of California.
We saw this in the Dow.
We
release.
did. This wasn't the Dow release. So David Fravor visually encounters a 40-foot smooth Tic Tac object mirroring his F-18's maneuvers. The craft accelerates away at impossible speeds without sonic booms or visible exhaust. Infrared video is captured.
Nice.
And it makes sense that it would move like the Omicron formation that Bob talks about. O'Hare Airport sighting in 2006. Dozens of United Airlines employees witness a dark gray saucer hovering silently over gate C-17 in Chicago. I love that they have the gate there. Like, they're like, I was standing at gate C-17.
He was waiting for his flight for the last 36 hours.
The craft hovers for several minutes before shooting straight up. It punches a perfect clear circular hole through the overcast cloud layer as it departs.
I should have sent you the link. Have you heard there's like I don't know if they're real though. That's always the hardest part. There's like recordings of the tower going, hey, airline number, like American Airlines 749. I got a weird one for you. Do you see a craft floating over gate C7 or whatever, C17 over there? And he's like, I got it. I know it's a weird one. He's like, well, I can't really see over there, and it's like, and he asked like 3 aircraft to see if they could see it over there.
I didn't hear that.
So that picture's not real. It's a artist representation.
Oh, that's not real? So somebody took a picture of O'Hare and then just drew a black line?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to be all on the up and up here. But
what-
there's like recordings of people like talking about it. But
you know what's interesting
There's
to
no
me?
photo, which really sucks because it's like 2006. Like we had like phones and stuff with cameras on them.
We did, but they weren't
iPhone
quite
didn't
like.
exist.
Yeah.
I think it was just like the silver flip phones that had just started to come out with it. The Verizon
Yeah.
Verizon only had them. So if you didn't have Verizon, you couldn't take
They
pictures of
probably had the
aliens. yet.
Sidekick by then.
No, I don't think so. But
It's so 6. It's a year. It's a year before that iPhone was.
But
announced.
the O'Hare Airport sighting, that's a really interesting one if you want to look up the recordings of that.
But what's
you don't really
interesting-
get anything, but it's just interesting.
what's interesting to me is though the fact that they say it punches a clear circular hole through the cloud. Like out of all the other things we've heard of, we've
Just
never
goes-
heard of it disturbing the cloud layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to me that this one disturbed the cloud layers and went up. So like, is that a situation where they were flying in Omicron and should have been in Delta and didn't? And because of that, it disturbs things around it? Because when they talk about in the Bob Lazar documentary, he's talking about when they put the candle in front of the light and it
Right.
stops flickering because it basically just freezes in
It still
time,
was producing light.
but it's still producing light. Is that a situation of like, if they'd have done that first, the cloud layer would have been unaffected. But since they didn't, it was poof through. Then we have 2008, the Stephenville lights. Dozens of residents in Stephenville, Texas, including a pilot and constable, report a massive object spanning a mile-long
Did you make that in MS Paint?
Covered in bright lights? Okay, whatever.
I go into the detail of the photo after he's done, Noah.
The military initially denied having aircraft in the area, but later changed its story and said F-16 fighters on a training mission. FAA radar data obtained by researchers became central to debate over what was tracked that night. Joe, go ahead and describe your photo.
So this photo here is actually, if you go into the report that they wrote up, this is a photo of the area, and then somebody put dots on it to show what they were talking about, but they completely admit this is not real. This is just to give you an example of what they saw.
So they made it in MS Paint.
Yes, they made it in MS Paint.
That was my original question.
You said that I make it. I didn't make it.
You couldn't even make it that good.
No, but that's... So the photo, he can read the little words, and then I'll tell you where the photos came from.
Yeah.
We figured this out at 2017. Now we know how the flow goes.
December 2017, the New York Times AATIP leak. They reveal AATIP, a secret Pentagon UFO program. The article publicizes the Navy's Tic Tac and gimbal videos. So these are the ones that we just talked about. Forces the U.S. military to officially confirm the footage is authentic and the objects remain identified. So this is where we didn't have a Project Blue Book exactly, but they're still documenting this, and they had to release it in 2017.
Is this a real picture of him?
This is a real picture of the hearings.
That one's Kenny's. I just made sure the weird UFO ones. If it was a dude, I trusted it was that dude. I don't care. If it was who would care?
This picture is the next one. It's the congressional whistleblower hearings. So in July 2023, the congressional whistleblower hearings in D.C., the intelligence whistleblower David Grush testifies under oath the U.S. government is in possession of intact non-human spacecraft. He alleges a multi-decade cache retrieval and reverse engineering program hidden from congressional oversight. So he's basically confirming that what Bob says exists fucking exists.
Yeah.
Then we have the...
What's that guy's name?
David Grush.
David, what you doing, buddy? You want to come on the podcast? You have your own documentary? You can come in my basement.
Are you a Republican or Democrat? Either way...
If you believe in aliens, we'll talk to you.
I don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah. The National Archives established Record Group 615 for UFO and UAP-related records. The collection was created under the 2024 NDAA framework. This gave the public a formal archive for future UAP disclosures. So this is Project Blue Book Part 2.
In 2024, it's 2026. We're getting right up to Noah's an adult.
Baby.
I've been an adult for like 8 years now, asshole.
Not you. AARO and NASA reports. The Pentagon's AARO office and an independent NASA team published detailed reports. While downplaying extraterrestrial origins, they acknowledge unexplained UAPs in U.S. airspace. Both agencies push for rigorous, stigma-free scientific data collection. The AARO states that NARA is digitizing historical UFO and UAP material on a rolling basis. Public records are being posted as digitation and review progress. This is the archival portal that complements the broader Pursue disclosure timeline.
So this is the dow.com/war.
So in 2024, when they started to archive these records and create this data collection and go back through and take all the things from Project Grudge and Project Blue Book and all that and start to digitize them and put them in, that's basically what's leading up to the Pursue disclosure.
Digitize this stuff sooner.
Nobody cared.
I think they didn't digitize it for the fact that they were scared somebody could get to it easier if it was digitized. If it's stuck in an Iron Mountain vault somewhere, it's a lot harder to get to than if it's in a digital.
Yeah.
What's this?
So this is basically where we're at now. This is the Pursue disclosure. This is May 8th. This is when the Presidential Unsealing and Reporting System for UAP Encounters opens with the initial batch of declassified files, May 8th, 2026. This is the first one we went over. This is basically what we're seeing from the AARO and NASA's.
Is that picture from the moon?
Yes, this is one of the lights from the moon. This is one of the Apollo ones that we saw.
Remember? First episode? God damn it.
Yes, I remember. I was here.
Then we had the release 2 that Joe walked us through. That the Department of War published the second tranche of declassified photos.
What, when he sent the 50 videos at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, I was really excited about those. Release 2 was way better than Release 1.
We got good
Release
viewership
1
on
was
that
like,
one too, I think.
Yeah, because some of them look, that Aladdin magic carpet shit going.
Watch
that
the
is
documentary and you'll see more of that.
That is the end of our timeline because that is where we're at today. We're actually, it's as of recording, it's June 7th. So as of right now, there hasn't been a third release.
All 208 of our subscribers, if they say they're not caught up,
209.
209.
209 since when?
Since earlier. We had 209.
Rip it up! So now we got everybody caught up. Other than you should watch the S4.
Yeah, and that's from
Bob
3
Lazar.
years
What is it?
ago
What's the
now?
full
No,
name?
S4 is 2026. So it's S4, the Bob Lazar documentary, basically.
Yeah, the Bob Lazar story, I think.
Yeah, the Bob Lazar story.
Yeah. And there's a lot. I Googled it, and there's a lot out there, but that one's really well done. Like,
There's
good job,
another
guys.
one that is on
The AI is a little
Netflix.
rough, but
I will say that the AI is rough, but you also got to remember, like, they're going off of what Bob told them it looked like.
well, I know
Okay,
they did.
but-
No, the actual reconstructions were real. I thought that's what I read at the beginning. I thought like the
Well, no, like they
No,
used AI,
everything
but
is
like
used by AI and 3D printing.
you know what bugged me though, like about the AI is we've done this for years. To be honest, we've done B-roll footage in like those murder mystery things, and it's a shitty actor with whatever, but they say at the bottom reenactment with whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't do that, so then I didn't know which because some of the
no,
stuff
no,
was
they
him
did.
with
No, because they did in the opposite. They said when it
That's
was
what he
real.
said. He's just saying at the beginning that they would say this is basically
No, he
a
said
lot
I
of these
think there
are
was a
AI.
disclaimer in every clip, is what you're saying, right?
I want that.
Yeah.
But they did in the opposite in this. If you noticed, every time they said it was a real thing, they actually had a note in the footage saying it was a real thing.
I missed that.
I missed that.
They would have
too.
Like
during
occasionally,
it,
but
they
like
would say
I
like, oh,
wanted
this
to,
is actual footage from 1989. Or
yeah, but then I had to
1986.
remember, and then, like there was so much AI,
Yeah.
and it's so hard.
Well,
Every
yeah, for
fucking clip,
The first couple clips where he was like doing the teaching sessions with the blue screen in the background.
Yeah.
I thought those were real for the first couple clips, and I looked closer. I'm like, this is totally AI. His face is total AI.
Is it?
They could have been real from PBS and just upgraded with AI too. That's the kind of thing. Like,
That's why I'm like every fucking clip. I don't know.
There should be
So,
disclosures.
yes, tell me it's a if it's fucking Bob Lazar sitting there in an interview. I got it. You don't need to be like real footage. But when we're showing the old spaceship and we're showing like old footage and new footage, and you obviously recreated it, I got confused. And then I don't want to be like, because when you see real footage, you're like, holy shit. But then when it's old footage and it's just a visual representation, you're like, got it,
I want to pull up the screen.
So I was bothered by, that was the only thing that bothered me in that documentary was I was a little confused what was AI and what wasn't. So
And
then
I
had
agree
to
with
kind of
you.
be like, well, it's all AI.
I agree with you, but I went into it thinking everything I see that's not an interview is AI, in my opinion. But that was because I assumed that any of this stuff that he did have was probably taken or,
Yeah, but like even
Cap.
the 60 minutes, or was it not 60 minutes? When he did
the
that
original
interview in the van,
release, yeah.
and then you're like, is that even that, like maybe the audio was real and the image wasn't. You're like, make it tell me. I just didn't feel informed enough on that. Maybe they did. Well, if they did, it wasn't obvious enough for me, but I'm an idiot.
We know.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that they could have worked on that for sure. There is another, if you guys have never heard of the Bob Lazar story before that, or anybody else that's listening to this, there is another Netflix documentary that was done on Bob that is really good as well. I think that was the first one I watched after he did the Joe Rogan
Okay.
release. Then they had that one. After that one got such a following, then he started working on S4, which is where they started to put together the 3D recreations of the stuff, because up till that point, I think it's the first time I've ever seen what the ships have proposally look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before that, you didn't see any of the representations or any of the kind of things that he's talking about up until then.
You have the
Yeah.
expert there too, where he can give creative input, so you know that it was as close as possible.
Well, and they did say that at the beginning, that all the AI and the 3D used was signed off on by Bob before they proceeded. So they did try to make it look like what he saw when he went to the warehouse or the theater or whatever every day. But I think the biggest thing that I enjoyed was the Google Earth. Did you guys enjoy that? When they're walking around the Google Earth and they're like, oh, nobody's down at the Papoose Lake, and they're like, oh, really? Because there's a fucking road that goes down there, and there's drive in the
trail that
sand.
my bus used to go down.
I agree with the road, but I disagree with those tracks around it. They could be not waves, but like eroding. You know how like when stuff erodes, the tracks around. I agree with the road. I saw the road,
you can see
but
the
they're
two
like
separate tires.
Erosion wouldn't be in two separate tire marks like that.
I needed more.
Yeah.
No, I needed more on the tire tracks.
No. But what about
because anything
what about
can look like anything from a different photo.
What about being able to see the hangar doors, changing the contrast?
You know, that's crazy too. Like how big of a building that they have built underneath like that. That is insane.
I believe that our government or military 100% has capability to do that.
Yeah.
Did that photo prove it to me?
I mean, he was in the hangar. He worked in that hangar for 6 months.
It's true.
He told us he was there. If we believe that he was there, we kind of have to believe that they're there.
Maybe it's debunked now. Maybe nobody goes there anymore, but
Yeah, it could be to say it. Like,
yeah, I mean, nobody's probably using it anymore since everything happened. Since he went and told people,
they're like, well, guess we got
we got to go back to Area 51. You know?
they ditched that one.
Just
Yeah,
moved it to a different mountain.
Everybody knows about Area 51 already.
well, and they only know about that because of a leak as well, which was also leaked through George Knapp.
Yeah.
So
Think
that
we
is
beat this one to death, or
I think we did.
yeah, I think we beat the UFO stuff to death. I mean, if you don't
But we're
believe
still
in
gonna
aliens,
do like if there's a third release, I'm gonna.
we're gonna
fun
do
with this.
So as we go through, we'll keep doing the releases. But I think right now this was a great way to start put together like everything from the 1800s to today. And now as we go through the next releases, we can start to throw some of those into the timeline and be like, hey, back here we found this one now that wasn't here yet, kind of thing. But I think it's nice for us to be able to see where this shit was at. Like, where did it happen at? Just
we
because
haven't
we're
seen
hearing
one in
about it now.
Pennsylvania yet.
Because like when you have hard evidence behind something, that just makes it way more fun.
Well, and to start to put it together like this makes it easier to see. Like, it's interesting that we start to hear about flying discs during a certain period of time, and then they start to hear about triangle shapes during a certain period of time. And it seems to still follow like a guideline. But we also built the stealth bombers at a certain point too. Like,
Yeah.
so did we build the stealth bombers based on a triangular design that the aliens gave us that they were working on?
That's true.
To
How much
take
of this
theirs
stuff have we taken inspiration from?
Exactly. How much shit have we taken from them that we're now using in our military or our science that people just
Maybe it's
don't
never even
realize?
told us, but the fact that we saw the UFOs, like, oh shit, this design works really well.
Yeah.
Interesting. We could talk about this all day.
I was gonna say that definitely, for sure.
Yeah, I think at this point we've wrapped up the episode. So if you've made it this far,
Tip my cap to you guys.
Take it off yet. They're gonna get in.
I'm tipping my cap.
I want to take this thing off. It's hot as shit.
It hurts.
It's pointy. It's got to be dangerous.
mine's changed positions a lot.
Well, if you guys know the drill at this point, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that social media bullshit. We post shorts every day. There's been some really great conversations in the last couple videos if you guys want to join in on those. So.
Leave us a comment, but don't be gatekeeping, you cocksuckers.
Till next time, everybody.
See you next time. Later.